You're watching the Mic Check on every Monday afternoon at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. Hello and welcome everyone to this week's Mic Check. Today, we have a fun little challenge. And I don't mean just like the other ones that we've done. Every Mic Check has its own little challenge, I hope. But this one is really different. We're going to be randomly generating a whole scene for two actors to play out with each other. So we have a set of scripts, a set of emotions, and a setting, a place that hopefully will be enough to sort of spark your imagination to build a character and be that character in the moment. So I have got a random number generator app going here so that we can accurately, randomly select all of these things. And we're going to go ahead and start with Nathan and Leonard as our first readers. So the only thing you guys get to choose between each other is who's A and who's B.
You can
All
randomize
right.
that too.
Well, I don't know. If you've got a coin you want to flip for that, let's go for it. Okay. So when it comes to the script you are going to be reading, the random number generator says it is going to be number 2, business partners.
Okay.
So you guys can decide if you want to be A or B.
Random.
Random.
Random. Okay. Too bad I don't have a coin. I should probably get one of those for that. But when it comes to emotions, so we'll go with A first. So A will be in the emotion of curious. And B will be in the emotion of angry. So A is curious and B is angry. And then the setting will be in a mall. So business partners with A, curious, and B, angry in a mall. So you got a lot of noise and stuff going on around you. So go ahead and choose which one you'd like to try.
I'll take A.
Okay, so Leonard, you're B. A, curious, B, angry. Don't forget, in a mall. Whenever you're ready, go for it.
So I've been going over our business plan,
Uh-huh.
and I think we need to change some things.
Uh-huh.
I really don't think advertising exclusively on flyers is a great idea.
Why not?
Well, because it's 2019 and everybody's glued to their phones, and we sell heavy construction equipment.
I don't see the problem here.
Oy.
All right, who's going next? Nathan, who's the next reader A?
Devin.
Okay, Devin's the next reader A. Leonard, reader B.
Paul.
Okay.
Then. So Devin and me.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, so let's go ahead and choose a script. You guys will be reading gossip. So let's see. Emotions for A. So yeah, that was number 3, gossip. So emotions for reader A is going to be scared. And for reader B, it's going to be excited or happy. And then finally, for the setting.
Wait, so A is going to be what? I'm sorry.
I'm A,
It's
right?
going to be scared, and B is going to
so-
be excited or happy.
Okay.
And the
the
place
setting?
you'll be in is on the street, like you're walking next to each other.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever you guys are ready, go
Okay,
for it.
so I'll be B then.
Okay. So did you hear? So did you hear?
You're what?
You know, the thing that happened.
What thing?
Let's just say that there were some misunderstandings, and Pat and Jeff are not happy with each other right now.
Really? Pat and Jeff? Oh, those two are inseparable.
Don't worry, it'll give all the juice. I'll give you all the juicy details, but somewhere more private.
Okay. Devin, who's our next A reader?
Russ.
Okay. And Paul, who's our next B reader?
Wait. Did Devin mention Russ already?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh. Then I'll take then Joe.
Joe. Okay. So Russ and Joe are A and B. The story you guys will be going through is, once again, number 2, business partners. So the emotion for A will be confused. And the emotion for B will be oblivious. And the place you will be doing all of this at is on some public transportation. So bus, train, wherever.
All right, we ready?
Yep.
All right. So I've been going over our business plan,
Uh-huh.
and I think we need to change some things.
Uh-huh.
I really don't think that advertising exclusively on flyers is a great idea,
Why not?
because it's 2019. Everybody's glued to their phones, and we sell heavy construction equipment.
I don't see the problem here.
Oi.
All right.
All right.
So
I'm
who's our
choosing
next reader A?
Mike.
Okay. And Joe, who's our next reader B?
Yeah, who's left? Paul? Rob?
No, Paul went.
Rob.
All right. So Rob, you and I get to work with each other. Okay. So the story we're going to be reading is reminiscing. So number 4. So my emotion is going to be excited or happy. And Rob's emotion is going to be angry. And the place that we are going to read this at is in a board meeting room. So in a slightly more professional setting. All right. You ready, Rob?
Yep.
All right. Hey, do you remember that time when we were younger and we went to the creek?
Which time?
The one where I got my big toe pinched by a crawfish.
And you practically leaped out of the water?
I did leap out of the water. I was on the bank before I knew what happened.
What about it?
I've been afraid of things with pinchers ever since.
Uh-huh.
So I'm wondering why you decided on Red Lobster of all places to go eat. All right. I am going to choose John as the next A reader. John Stafford.
Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah, I was going to say, wait a minute, both Johns are on. John Stafford. So that leaves John Knowles as our B reader. All right, let's see your script. You guys will be reading Reminiscing again. Number 4. The emotion for A will be excited or happy. And the emotion for B is confused. And then the location that this will be at is in a library. So go ahead and get that set up in your minds, and whenever you guys are ready, go for it.
Okay. You remember that time we were younger and we went to the creek?
Which time?
The one where I got my big toe pinched by a crawfish.
Oh, and you practically leaped out of the water?
I did leap out of the water. I was in a bank before I knew what happened.
What about it?
I've been afraid of them. I've been afraid of things with pinchers ever since.
Uh-huh.
So I'm wondering why you decided on Red Lobster of all places to go eat.
Okay.
Alrighty then. So we had our first run through. Let's go ahead and open up a little bit of a discussion. What do y'all think of this exercise? What do you think of the challenge of this?
I think it's fantastic. It's like I said, it's the way I write my sketches. So hey, it works for me.
A really good recommendation by Russ to just randomize everything.
Yes, thank you,
Yes.
Russ, very much for that.
Great recommendation, Russ.
You're welcome.
Audio-wise, I used to play with an audio. This is similar to improv exercises. I used to play with an audio improv group,
Mhm.
and the one thing that I'd adjust is sometimes the settings when you're on stage make more sense than audio only. Like in a library, you can totally do that audio only. Or if you're in the middle of a football game, you can do that audio only because you probably have to yell over everything. But there's a lot that are in the middle where you're just kind of somewhere and something's going on and you don't really,
Right.
you can't really tell.
How do you talk like you're on a bus?
Yeah, on a bus, in a mall, on the street, all in the same general range.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So having a wider range on the places might, in a battle or
In a battle, reminiscing in a battle.
Reminiscing in a battle. Remember that crab and hey Tom, remember that crab?
Well, that's why I have the et ceteras in there. You can adjust it however you'd like to. But the other thing is I mean, there are going to be some projects where you will be asked to be sort of deliver in these mundane places. And while it is really, really sort of, I don't know, nitpicky, I suppose, they do have their own sort of subtle differences that they change somebody's mindset when approaching something. Like generally in a mall where everybody's sort of milling about and doing their own things, some people might feel that it's a little bit more private because everybody's doing their own thing and don't care. So they can be a little bit louder. I mean, come on, there's a bunch of noise everywhere. Or maybe there are some people who are really self-conscious about their about their stories and things like that, but they want to start talking about this with their friend, so they're generally quieter, get closer or something. I guess those were really in there just to sort of try to give you a little bit more of of something to create a character with. Like, what kind are you? What kind of person are you in these situations?
You know what I was thinking would be cool is if you could record some background noises and throw them in while we're doing it.
Well, I do have them all nearby.
I mean,
I probably could go and do that.
You could get that off anywhere, though. I mean,
Yeah.
be pretty easy to do.
We need a soundboard. I think that'd be kind of fun to add to some of these. But let's talk about some character creation. So, Joe, thank you very much for bringing up the difficulty in these like really sort of simplistic or not very well defined places. But I think there is a little bit of play you could have with that. But that's just me personally. What are your approaches for creating characters on the fly? Do you like imagining yourself in a particular situation, or do you usually try to imitate something that you've heard or that a performance that you're familiar with from the past?
I think I would imagine myself in the situation.
I normally, which I do this every day. So I normally imagine myself in that place, in particular, maybe just off, in a room just off the kitchen, if I'm talking about coffee or, or, there's that I imagine a much larger space because I'm in an 11-by-7 room cut in half by this room I'm in. So, it's a much larger space like the mall, places like that. And then put my characters in that place You know?
Maybe it would help more to define the character. Help me a bit more to define the character. Like on a bus, okay, your immediate assumption is you're just two passengers on a bus. Maybe you're the bus driver and the other guy is getting on. Or in a mall, maybe you're running a kiosk selling something, as opposed to a more active choice in the character other than I'm just in a place. Maybe that's what I'm missing.
That makes
Okay.
good sense. That makes a lot of good sense because, you know, usually when you are imagining yourself in a place, there's a particular situation going on, you know?
So maybe a verb to go with it.
Yeah,
Something
like in a
that.
library, are you the librarian? Are you a noisy customer there? Are you,
Okay.
some guy who brought his lunch to eat at the library?
Yeah, my general impression after the first read through was we could do away with the settings. I didn't feel like they really added to it. This would be more like adding roles instead of locations, which
Yeah.
sounds like it
Well,
makes more sense to me.
I think the library made a big difference.
The library made a big
Yeah.
difference, but the
Yeah.
rest of them were all kind of like, well,
Yeah.
it didn't change my delivery any.
I pulled
Well,
a Richard.
it did adjust my delivery in the sense because from what I remember from going to the mall, it's always been, which back in malls heydays, there are, you know, crowded, noisy places, lots of people milling around, and you're trying to talk over everybody else talking over each other, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's why
Okay,
I
we
kind of elevated my voice when I was talking.
No worries. We could do away with the settings portion. That won't be a problem. Maybe we could
Okay.
replace it later on with a character or something like that.
Yeah, I think that would be.
The setting can make sense if you pick a more proactive, like a role in the setting.
Yep.
Okay.
I wouldn't do away with it.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. It did make a difference on some of them as far as what's the noise level. You can go a little bit further, and then you get like for example, if you're in a boardroom and one person's the boss and another person's the mail delivery guy, then you have your two levels of interaction.
Yeah.
That made me think, and the library made me think a little bit.
Yeah.
We didn't do in the park, but even the bus. Like, am I trying to make this private yet still be heard over the noise of the motor? You know,
Yeah.
all those things start going through your head.
And
Yeah.
if you're going that far, then you can go. If I'm going that far improv wise, you can go further and say, I'm in the park. I'm a pigeon. You know?
Only you, Joe.
Yeah.
And the other guy's the crazy guy on the bench.
And we're talking.
The other guy's dead.
Makes it hard to have
So a
dialogue.
pigeon and a corpse find themselves in a park. Well, I mean, so that actually brings up a really interesting issue when it comes to characters on some scripts in general, because every script that you get is some form of character acting. Like maybe you're a brand ambassador, maybe you're a healthcare professional, maybe you're a mechanic. Maybe you do have to take on some kind of a role in every script that you get, but not all of them are super clearly defined. I've noticed that oftentimes in the auditions that I receive, it's not necessarily like super clear what kind of characteristics they want or what kind of character they want, more of the characteristics of the sound that they're looking for. And it's usually incumbent upon the actor or the person who is auditioning to try to parse out what they're trying to say and create a character with somewhat limited or vague information. Sometimes you do have a really well-defined character, and that's awesome, and that would really help you out. But other times, you don't necessarily have that. And I suppose, I mean, in the future, I'll be more than happy to add in an actual character in the setting here, like maybe a situation between the two to sort of simplify that rather than constantly, generating new numbers for everything. But
Yeah. Well, I mean,
so things like friends, colleagues, or whatever the case may be.
you can come up with it. The other person doesn't have to know. I could come up with it in my head and say I'm a pigeon, and they don't have to know. But it does alter the way I play the lines. And then afterwards, you could say, "What the heck were you doing, Jody? I was a pigeon."
So yeah, I was kind of hoping to leave the character creation up to the individual.
Yeah.
But now after taking sort of a look at the scripts and at the emotions and things like that, are there any particular challenges that you yourself are looking at? Things that maybe you don't quite know how to bridge, something that we could talk about when it comes to, how to sort of approach that situation with this sound? Is that
I'm thinking that'll come with the feedback, maybe.
okay? Well, I mean, if anybody had any sort of, something that they were maybe a little bit nervous about approaching, I'd love to get that talked about as well, because I think that would be a pretty good discussion on, the character creation and things like that.
Like, what's an example? What are you thinking?
Like a frustrated laugh, or
Laugh.
a scared, a person that when it comes to the identity confusion, how do you play that off as scared? Something like that. Because one of my favorite pieces of directions that I've ever read was friendly yet authoritative. And again, that's like the classic challenge that I like to bring up to people, particularly who are new. How do you approach friendly yet authoritative?
Well, I think you would pretend you're talking to one of your good friends, but he was kind of passive, and you were more the in charge type. That's how I would approach it.
Have you ever seen the way police act in traffic stops these days? Friendly and authoritative. They act like, "Hey, I'm here to help you, buddy, but I'm still in charge."
Yeah.
That's the way they train them these days, to be warm and open and still be conducting a criminal investigation.
Yeah, son, you can't park here. You need to go right over there. Right
I
next
love
to
you. I love you, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How'd this blood
So-
stain get on you, huh?
Rob brings up a really good point. Last line ended with a laugh, which is a shift from being angry in the lines before that.
You
So,
can have a maniacal
Yeah,
angry
yeah.
laugh.
Yeah.
Angry laugh.
well, here's the thing: there are usually other emotions associated with these big general ones.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, what are some other emotions that you can usually associate with things like anger? Like, what are some other things that come with anger?
Yelling, maybe.
Well, I'm talking about other
Mocking
emotions
laugh.
that you'd feel along with it, like other things that
Frustration.
settle in. Okay, frustration.
Yeah. Disappointment.
Can you laugh frustrated or disappointedly?
Like you could laugh.
My
like
mom probably can.
You could laugh like a smartass. I mean, that's
You could do that too. Again, there's usually a lot of other emotions that come along with what you're feeling. Like you can feel angry, but at the same time, like you said, you could feel frustrated, you could feel annoyed, you could feel sort of apathetic. Some of these things sort of blend together, and you could use those like attached emotions to do some of that delivery. So your overall like umbrella could be angry, but maybe, you laugh like you're absolutely annoyed, or you're totally done with this person. Like, okay, whatever,
Yeah, like, ha.
Oh, yeah.
And also there's room for improv in all of this. I don't care if you want to add lines or whatnot, if it'll make you feel like you involve yourself a little bit more in the script, that's totally fine. It's not, when it comes to any kind of acting, it's not necessarily super rigid with one particular thing. It's because human behavior is complex. It's raw, it's emotional, whatever. We'll come up with all kinds of, crazy descriptions for it later on, but it's really complicated, and a lot of things go into it. Like there's many different things that can go into somebody portraying anger. There's many different things with somebody portraying confusion. Heck, anger and confusion can go together. Maybe if you're confused, you can be angry at something, a little annoyed. You know?
Oh, now you're gonna roll the dice twice?
I'm going to roll the dice once and allow you guys to improv whatever else you want to.
All right, and then the other people say if they get that feeling.
I'm sorry, what was it?
Well, the other people will say if they get that feeling, like, I didn't feel like you were angry. Well, I was going for frustrated, and that's angry to me.
Okay.
Oh, I did feel frustrated. Okay, I got it now. Somewhat, something like that.
Okay, so the feedback for this next section, and I think we'll go ahead and choose 2 new first-time readers and randomize it all again, because I think that'll work for this. So when it comes to feedback, let's focus mainly on how, like, if you got those emotions from the performance, and if you felt like the person had a solid idea of the character that they were. We could ask them that afterwards, but I think those are going to be the main important things to sort of focus on for this particular set of reads. So who would like to volunteer as our first A reader for the directed reads?
All right, I've been going first forever, so.
John Knowles. No, Stafford. Gosh, dang it. John Stafford is our first A reader, and who will be our first B reader?
Joe just volunteered.
I'll be.
Joe will be our first B reader. All right, so let's find your script. The script will be business partners. This random number generator really likes number 2. So, emotions for reader A, or emotion, will be scared.
Great.
And for reader B, annoyed. And then the setting, should you want to play with it, will be on the street. So whenever you're ready, go for it.
So I've been going over our business plan,
Uh,
and I think we need to make some changes.
uh, uh,
I really don't think our advertising exclusively on flyers is a great idea.
why not?
Because it's 2019. Everyone's glued to their phones. We sell heavy construction equipment.
I don't see a problem here.
Oi!
Okay, opening it up. Let's talk about the performances. What did you all think?
A was like a
What were you
fast,
supposed to be,
fast
John?
talking,
I was supposed to be scared.
scared, yeah. So it seemed like a lot of fast talking.
Oh.
I was nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I could feel the nervousness coming out.
yeah. So nervous and scared kind of go together.
I just assumed that Joe's character would be my boss, and I'm trying to pitch him on this idea.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah. And Joe's character had that almost J. Jonah Jameson approach to it. I don't care. Bring me pictures of Spider-Man.
Okay. Anybody else? Any other feedback?
Maybe nervous would have a little more shallow breathing or breathing problems. People tend to, and it doesn't have to necessarily be like you're hyperventilating, but something, maybe just bring it up a little bit.
I'm glad you said that. I thought of that like halfway through the read.
Okay, so then don't forget your breathing. There's a lot of physicality you got to remember with your characters.
Oh, yes.
And John, you were supposed to be on the street, right? Were you like really, really close to him?
Yes.
Okay.
I was kind of like leaning in, trying not to be heard.
Then you nailed it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
I just
what I
kinda
got.
pictured him on like a New York City kind of street where there's a lot of people milling around.
Yeah, it sounded almost like library to me. You were almost whispering there.
Yeah, again, I was trying not to be overheard because we're, well-known business people standing on the street talking about problems with our business.
I'm kind of assuming John is a close talker.
Well, actually, I kind of I see where John is coming from with that particular character, because normally when you're nervous and you're out in public, like, you don't really want to be overheard.
Yeah.
So I don't the
Very
way that
true.
Yeah.
way that it came off to me, it sounded like really spot on with that character.
I
Yeah,
was trying to
you-
be a little tentative too, because again,
Mhm.
I'm talking to my boss and giving him bad news, and
Yeah, you
You're
dialed it
telling him
back
he's
just
stupid.
right.
I don't care. Buy it.
Well, Joe, what about you? What was your character? What were you thinking?
I was trying to buy a hot dog from a street vendor who was having a problem getting the lid of the hot dog cart open, and meanwhile John's bugging me. And I'm like, yeah, what the, I need a hot dog. Just I have 10 minutes to eat lunch, and you're here talking to me.
that was my first mistake.
Yeah.
We're
Bugging you while
talking
you're
about
hungry.
lunch when we're talking about business when I'm trying to just take a break.
Yeah, so that's where the annoyed came from. It's like, yeah, whatever. Just let me get this freaking hot dog. And
That's cool, Joe. It's a good point. It makes you sound more professional when you can. I mean, it had nothing to do with the situation, but
Yeah.
imagining that in your mind help you get into character.
I wasn't
Yeah.
necessarily annoyed with John or the topic that he was talking about. I was in the pressed for time, generally
Yeah.
annoyed mood. So.
That was a good approach. And
Yeah.
actually that was specifically what I heard out of you too, like annoyed at something going on, not necessarily John. So with the approaches that both of you took, you really really did nail the sound of both of that. I would say, John, yeah, watch your breathing a little bit, because you want to be approaching it with sort of like, okay, crap, I've got to tell the boss the bad news. I really don't want to be the one to do this, but I've got to do this, particularly on his lunch break.
Yeah. Here
So-
goes nothing.
Yeah, go ahead and give us one more read.
I think Joe could
Because-
be just a little bit louder, though. I think that would add to it.
Okay.
So, I've been going over our business plan,
Uh-huh.
and I think we need to change some things.
Yeah, uh-huh, uh-huh.
I really don't think we're advertising exclusively on flyers is a great idea,
Why not?
because it's 2019. Everyone's glued to their phones, and we sell heavy construction equipment.
I don't see the problem here.
Oi!
All right. What everybody think of that one?
It was good, and you made it better.
Yeah. John's nervousness was way more pronounced.
Yeah, I really caught that too. Nice done.
Well done indeed.
Cool.
All righty then. John Stafford, who is our next A reader?
Let's go backwards then. Who was last? Nathan? Nathan, you're over here.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, Nathan's our next A. And Joe, who's our next B?
John Knowles, you want to go for a B?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so let's see your guys' script. It will be reminiscing, number 4. So the emotions for the A reader, or the emotion for the A reader is going to be angry. And for the B reader, it is going to also be angry. So you guys are annoyed at each other or something. And the setting you will be doing this in will be in a mall. So play with that how you will. And whenever you guys are ready, go for it.
Hey, do you remember that time when we were younger and went to the creek?
Which time?
You know, the one where I got my big toe pinched by a crawfish.
Yeah, and you practically leaped out of the water.
Yeah, I did leap out of the water, and I was on the bank before I knew what happened.
Well, what about it?
I've been afraid of things that with pinchers ever since.
Uh-huh.
So I'm wondering why you decided on Red Lobster of all places to go eat.
Ha ha ha.
All right. What did everybody think?
I wasn't sure Mad versus Mad was going to work, but they did it really well.
Ooh, that was fun.
Yeah, it was gold. Where were they supposed to be again, though?
In a mall.
In a mall.
Okay. I didn't get much mall from it, but that's hard.
There are different levels of angry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would have liked to see they kind of matched. I would like to have seen maybe one more seething and one more like I'm the crazy one that can't control it in public.
Oh, good.
Well, that's an interesting twist.
Yeah. Who wants to seethe?
Okay.
I think Nathan should be the one who seethes,
Okay.
and John should be the one who's definitely angry, but more of the mischievous angry.
I don't know. I kind of like John's read. Well, I don't know. It felt kind of like he knew what Nathan was going to complain about, so he's like, "Get on with it. Just go ahead and say it." And when he finally does say it, it's that laugh was like, "Ah, took you long enough."
But I think that was the intent, though. He took him there on purpose to get under his skin.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I totally agree with you, Paul. I think he hit it really right on, and I think he really wouldn't actually need to change much about his delivery this time. I think Nathan would need to go a little bit more over the top.
Yeah, I agree.
But John needs to get a little crazy if he's going to be the crazy one, right?
Nathan's seething and I'm crazy, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So since you did it so good, we're making it more of a challenge is what's going on here.
Yeah, you already nailed the first one, so try something new.
And remember, you're out in public, so you potentially have eyes on you. All right. Whenever you guys are ready, go for it.
Hey, you remember the time when we were younger and went to the creek?
Which time?
You know, that one. The one where I got my big toe pinched by a crawfish.
And you practically leaped out of the water, right?
I did leap out of the water. I was on the bank before I knew what happened. Doggone, that hurt.
What about it? What about it? What about it?
I've been afraid of things with pinchers ever since. I never got over it, man.
Uh-huh.
So I'm wondering why you decided on Red Lobster, of all places to eat. Yuck it up, Buttercup.
Oh, the laugh at the end was beautiful. Anyway, what did you all think of that one?
Good improv.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like the improv.
They've got an audience at the mall.
Yeah.
I think angry might be the easiest one, though.
Yeah. It is pretty easy.
Well, angry versus angry, though, that is a really good challenge there. And I like how both of you sort of ramped up a little bit and played off each other with the whole thing.
Yep. That's true. Good observation.
Fantastic performances, guys. Fantastic performances. All right, Nathan, who's our next day reader?
Paul.
Paul's our next day reader. And John Knowles, who's our next B reader?
Mr. DeWolf.
Russ. All right. So the script you two will be reading is Identity Confusion.
Good.
So it'll be short. All right. So for our A reader, the emotion which you will be reading this with is amused. And our B reader will be reading with the frustrated emotion. And the setting, should you wish to play with it, is in a library.
Okay, what was B emotion again? Sorry.
B's emotion is
Frustrated.
frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
A is amused, B is frustrated.
Mm-hmm. Can we go yet?
You're on.
Oh, right. Oh, hey, it's you.
Hi.
Wait, you're not Dana, are you?
Sorry, nope.
Oh, that's embarrassing. Sorry.
No problem.
All right, what did y'all think? Short, sweet, and to the point.
You're supposed to be in the library, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure of the setting, so I did get the library. That was good.
There you go.
Definitely got the library on that one.
Oh, cool. What about the rest of it?
I didn't get the question mark after the hi, but everything else seemed spot on for me.
All right.
Anyone else? Any other opinions? Thoughts?
Devin, you want to give us more of a challenge?
You want to modify it, Devin?
Can I modify your what's your location? Just because you reminded, you know what it sounded like was like two people who were sitting down in stalls next to each other, but they can't see each other, and one starts talking to the other one.
Yeah, I think Paul, if you approach it with a little bit more of like a discovery, oh, hey, it's you, or just try to keep it down a little bit. And Russ, if you just be a little bit more surprised on that second line is more of a like, what are you talking to me for kind of line,
Okay.
So whenever you guys are ready, let's hear another read.
Oh, hey, it's you.
Hi?
Wait, you're not Dana, are you?
Sorry, nope.
Oh, that's embarrassing. Sorry.
No problem.
That last one was angry. What did y'all think?
Yeah, I caught that. I did.
So did you mean that Reader B was supposed to be acting like standoffish? Like, why are you talking to me?
Frustrated?
Go away.
Why are you bothering me?
Yeah. Okay.
Did you get that?
I just didn't. If that was the case, I didn't get that they were trying to blow the other person off. Like, just go away. Stop talking to me.
All right, let's try again then.
Yeah. Just you're supposed to be unapproachable is the idea, right?
Sure. It's so short anyway.
Yeah.
Hey. Oh, hey, it's you.
Hi?
Wait, you're not Dana, are you?
Sorry, nope.
Oh, that's embarrassing. Sorry.
No problem.
All right. What did everybody think of that? Better?
I felt annoyed coming from Russ.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Especially that last line.
Yeah.
But that little end was like, okay, that's it. We're done talking now.
He was saying no problem with his mouth, and his head was going, yes, there is a problem. You're fine.
Yeah.
Paul,
There's a fine
I
line
love
between annoyance and frustration because, well.
And Paul, I loved your physicality with the whole thing.
I think
The
what
touching
you're
your
trying to
face
get
and
is everybody thinks you're one person, but you're not that person, and you're kind of sick of people mistaking you for making that mistake.
That's a good point. Yep.
So then, Russ, what was going on with you? What was your character? How did you construct it?
I don't know. I'm not as deep as a lot of you guys, especially Joe. But I mean, I could just see someone talking to me in the library, and I'm reading a book, and I don't have time to mess with them because I'm, in my own world reading this book, basically.
What book were you reading, Russ?
Oh, come on.
Page number and paragraph, mister.
How to win friends and influence other people.
Now, were you wearing a hat or?
Paul, what about you? What was your character? What was going through your head?
Nothing really. I just did what I thought would come naturally.
Okay. Well, like I was mentioning a little earlier, I love the physicality that you had with it, like, oh, sorry, silly me, and everything like that. That really added a lot of authenticity to what it is you were saying.
Mm-hmm.
So, good choice there.
I think maybe when he said Dana, you have to kind of slow down there. Because you're like, wait, you're not Dana, are you? Like, I need to discover this and kind of ease into it because you may not be. But that's hard to do, and then throw the emotion in with it too. So
yeah.
Well, I think all in all, both of you did a really, really good job with your performances.
It's such a short piece with so few words. It's
yeah,
kind of difficult.
All right. Well, I'm picking Leonard.
Okay.
For B.
Leonard is our next
Devin.
B reader. You can pick Devin.
Just
Sure.
Devin, right?
Devin will be our next A reader.
Yeah.
Okay. So the script that both of you will be reading is business partners. So our A reader's emotion will be excited or happy, generally positive. And our B reader's emotion will be amused. Just think the whole thing's funny. And the setting, should you want to play with it, is your choice. Would landed on etc. You guys can choose wherever you want to be for this. Or maybe I could open up in the boardroom. Okay, boardroom. Why not?
Okay.
So whenever you're ready, go for it.
I'm B, aren't I?
You were A.
Oh, I'm A?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So which one's A then?
What does that mean? A is the first line.
Okay, yeah. So
I know
business
the
partners.
emotion.
Oh, okay.
I thought I was amused. Okay,
Uh,
happy. Thank you,
excited.
Rob. Oh, excited. Oh, okay.
Excited / happy.
Okay. So I've been going over our business plan,
Uh-huh.
and I think we need to change some things.
Uh-huh.
I really don't think advertising exclusively on flyers is a great idea
Why not?
because it's 2019. Everybody's glued to their phones, and we sell heavy construction equipment.
Well, I don't see a problem here.
Hoy.
Okay, got a nice challenge here. What did everybody think of that? Two positive emotions coming together with this particular script.
Her excitement reminded me of the, oh, aren't you having a case of the Mondays? Would you like some cake?
Yeah, it just dropped off a little bit on that last line. I don't see a problem here.
Yeah, I was kind of confused on how to do that one in an amused way.
Just a little upspeak at the end, maybe. You know, I don't see a problem here.
Either that, or you can just see it as the punchline of a joke. I don't see a problem here.
There you go.
It seems like
I think that's kind of how I did it, but who knows?
Or even adjust the word. And when it comes to something like this, you're not stuck to the exact wording. So just adjust the wording. So what's the problem? You know, or something like that.
I think Leonard should just go over the top, just laughing the whole way.
Okay.
So the whole thing is like a
challenge for me because that's not me.
There you go.
Got it. So Leonard's going to be the Joker,
and Devin should just seem amazed at everything, kind of. And it was going that way.
I got this. My personal interpretation of your read, Devin, was you were this hope springs eternal, nothing ever brings her down sort of secretary type.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was just my interpretation. What were you going for? Was it just sort of an off the cuff thing, or what was going
off
on?
the cuff. I had half a second before I figured out I was reading the wrong character.
That's usually how it goes.
Maybe we could ask those questions before they read.
You were channeling Mary Tyler Moore very well.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
thank you.
Oh, Rob. Okay, not that one.
And actually, if I remember correctly, B was chosen first. So that means, Devin, you were supposed to be reading B.
Oh.
So I'm not crazy.
No, you're not.
I'm not crazy, but I'm
But
not
I think you
wrong.
might as well have the challenge while you're at it. So why don't we get the roles switched up a little bit? So Leonard, you're A. So you're going to be the happy, excited, generally positive, and Devin, you'll be B, and you're going to be the amused one about this whole thing. And
But Leonard wanted the challenge of being amused, though.
well, now he's got to be happy or excited while delivering the bad news.
All right.
Okay.
I think that's a real interesting challenge there too. But we'll see. We'll play with it a little bit afterwards. Why not? So go for it. Whenever you guys are ready.
So I've been going over our business plan,
Uh-huh.
and I think we need to change some things.
Uh-huh.
Well, I really don't think advertising exclusively on flyers is a great idea.
Why not?
Because it's 2019. Everyone's glued to their phones, and we sell heavy and construction equipment.
Well, I don't see a problem here.
Hi.
Okay. What do everybody think of that?
Not enough.
Not enough.
Not enough.
Okay.
Rob says you're Joker talking to Harley.
You're both dentists trapped at the circus in the balloon filling room.
God, where does he come up with this?
That's fantastic. Excellent, Joe.
How about Joker and the Riddler? Because the Riddler's just
Oh, yeah.
wacky over the top, right?
From the old Batman.
Yeah, the campy one from the 60s.
Yeah,
Campy
yeah.
60s version.
They were
Oh,
just
boy.
about identical in personality
They
type.
were close.
I'm at a disadvantage here. I've never seen that.
Aw, you should with your friend. Go watch, you'll love it.
Okay. You got to watch 66 Batman and Godzilla.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I'm getting my viewing agenda set for me here.
I'm thinking excited should be like you're saying something like for the first time and like it's just the greatest thing you've ever heard. And you're like, hey, look at this. That's what I'm thinking when I hear excited.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just try to go way over the top with it.
Yeah, like even a pause after so, and then a pause.
So here's a little bit of direction you could consider. All right. So excited while delivering bad news. How can we sort of twist that up? Well, maybe you could be excited because you're really excited about your new advertising ideas. You've been thinking it over and you've been coming up with it, and you want to try to get your business partner to consider your idea. So you're really stoked about what you're thinking. Like, hey, I've got this awesome new advertising, method that I really want to try here because it's really super modern and whatnot. You have this great idea and the other person's not quite getting it, but you're not necessarily like super dismayed. At the end, it's just, oh, okay, well, let's try it a different way then. So that could be a direction you could attempt to go in. Happy and excited could be something like that. You have a really great idea you want to bring to this other person. And Devin, with your amused, you could sort of be thinking, yeah, I know what I'm doing. I've done this for forever. Well, I like your excitement and whatnot, but I think I got this under control. It's kind of funny that they're trying to tell you what to do. You're the professional here. You've done this for forever. Flyers have always worked.
Okay.
And when you do that line, it's a list of 3 things. So treat it like that, I think. 3 different sounds to it.
Yeah, the 2019 line.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Give it the ABC treatment.
Yes.
Okay.
Anyway, whenever you're ready, dive back in.
So I've been going over our business plan,
Mm-hmm.
and I think we need to change some things.
Uh-huh.
I really don't think advertising exclusively on flyers is a great idea.
Why not?
Because it's 2019. Everyone's glued to their phones, and we sell heavy construction equipment.
I don't see the problem here.
Hi.
All right. What did everybody think of that one?
Definitely better.
Yeah.
It's interesting that 2 positive emotions are harder than 2 negative ones.
Well, this
Well,
is an
you know about-
inherently negative script.
But you know about the brain's negativity bias, right?
Yeah, we like conflict, so
Yeah. We're mostly attuned to the negative. That's why news about disaster always sells.
Yeah.
Like you're never going to see on the news, hey, puppy was adopted today. Way to go, puppy. No, you're going to see that like 34 were killed in a mass shooting somewhere in the Midwest. I don't know.
Yeah.
34 puppies?
Yeah, you do.
34 puppies were mass adopted. Anyway.
Meanwhile, at the Legion of Doom.
So what were some things that you guys noticed about that performance that were markedly better than the other ones?
I was just getting a kick out of watching Leonard's eyes. You get into it.
It amused me too.
I'll have to watch that back on the playback.
I had to step out of my booth for just a second, but when I came back in, all I saw was
Yeah. Yeah, that was the old how you tell somebody's completely insane if you can see the whites all the way around their eyes.
I kind of got Leonard like. Go ahead.
It's almost cheating to have the video because I feel like I'm doing on-camera work, but I know we won't have that. We won't be able to react behind the mic, but we're getting that with our video.
Yeah.
But I saw Leonard, or I heard Leonard like pronouncing words a little too clearly. You know, when you're excited, I don't know if you're gonna really. I mean, you have a natural tendency to do that. I know.
Yeah, I do.
So, like, were there any instances where you heard that, like something that sort of stuck out?
It seemed like Flyers is sticking out to me. I don't remember now, but there was just a couple of words where, like, God, so he's like making an effort so clear. It's like it kind of took away from the excited feeling to me.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think especially on that, because it's 2019 line, you would kind of want to run some of those words together instead of each one having their own distinct little pause in between them.
Okay. Oh, this is definitely very out of character for me, so it's a good challenge.
Well, good. That's why you come to the mic check.
Excellent.
Uh-huh.
Let's see. Rob says Leonard could be the boss that's about to fire Devin and loves every minute of it. Devin has a better job and is just playing dumb to mess with Leonard. That would be an interesting challenge.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I like the idea.
Me too. Why don't you guys approach it with that? So, Leonard, you're the boss that's going to fire Devin.
Okay.
And Devin, you already have a better job lined up and you're going to leave anyway. So this whole thing's just funny to you.
Okay, and am I still trying to be excited about this?
Try to be upbeat, happy. Yeah. Just be a little bit more positive because you know that, you know, regardless of what they say, it doesn't matter. They're being let go.
Okay. And okay, I'm the boss, so that changes my mentality completely. Okay, let's go. So, I've been going over our business plan.
Uh-huh.
And I think we need to change some things.
Uh-huh.
I really don't think advertising exclusively on flyers is a great idea.
Why not?
Because it's 2019. Everyone's glued to their phones, and we sell heavy construction equipment.
I don't see the problem here, and I don't care.
You really nailed that take this job and shove it thing.
Well, I guess firing is just not as much fun now.
It reminded me of an established character from a show that I love to watch. It was just hilarious the way she did that at the end. I don't care.
Well, all in all, what about the performance? Did you guys get some of that, you know, that direction in their performance this time?
Yes, definitely.
Yep.
Yeah, good one, Rob. That was a really good.
Leonard managed to sound frustrated and upbeat somehow when he said, "And we sell heavy construction equipment."
He pulled it off. He did.
Yeah. That was a really good mix of emotions, and I like that you threw that in there because happy or excited or positive could be a veiled delivery for frustrated and angry, and that totally works. That is absolutely okay to do here, with as open as it is.
Yep.
So I think you did. I think you both did an absolutely fantastic job, especially with the
That was
I don't see a problem here and I don't care. All righty then. So, Devin, who is our next A reader?
Rob hasn't gone, right?
Not with the directed reads.
Okay. Rob.
Okay, so Rob is our next A reader. Leonard,
And
who's our
I
next B
think-
reader?
And I think you're the only one that hasn't read a second time. So
What do you
all
know?
Mike?
Rob and I get to work with each other again, although the numbers or they have been switched. The letters. Okay, so the script we will be reading is. Why are you frozen? Okay, number 3, gossip. The emotions that you'll be reading in Rob is curious. And the one I will be reading in is surprised. And our setting, should we choose to play with it, is... Come on, stop freezing on me, geez. In a board meeting room. Again. All right, so Rob, whenever you're ready, go ahead.
So, did you hear?
Hear what?
You know, the thing that happened.
What thing?
Let's just say that there were some misunderstandings, and Pat and Jeff are not happy with each other right now.
Really? Pat and Jeff? Those two are inseparable.
Don't worry, I'll give you all the juicy details, but somewhere more private.
All right, gotcha. All right, opening it up. What do everybody think?
It seemed like you got surprised at the end, but your first 2 lines, I didn't catch much surprise.
Yep.
Yeah, it sounded annoyed to me at the start.
Okay.
What was the other emotion?
Curious.
Curious.
Yeah, that's
That's
kind
pretty
of
good.
a lot to ask in this script, I think.
It's hard to be curious when you're the one who's presenting all the facts.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you could be curious.
Well, you could be
because
curious about what the audience thinks.
or
Alright.
curious what the other person knows.
Curious about how he's going to respond.
Yeah,
Mhm.
very true. Very true.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So I sounded more annoyed at the very beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, think like newborn baby. You're surprised at everything.
Oh, there's a camera and a microphone. No way. This is awesome.
That sounds better.
All right. I will be more surprised. And any particulars for Rob?
Maybe just the direction that he got from someone else. Just being like wondering what the reaction's going to be.
Okay, so more
curious.
interested in the reaction. Okay.
Yeah, or guarding from it, kind of like, I don't know what you're going to say, but I'm saying this. I don't know. It sounded like
Or-
good direction.
Well, Rob, whenever you're ready, let's go ahead and start back up.
So, did you hear?
Oh, hear what?
You know, the thing that happened.
Oh, man. What thing?
Let's just say that there were some misunderstandings, and Pat and Jeff are not happy with each other right now.
Really? Pat and Jeff? Those two are inseparable.
Don't worry, I'll give you all the juicy details, but somewhere more private.
All right.
Michael, that was great.
Yeah.
It was good.
And
You know
there's
what-
our feedback.
And,
You know
Russ, play distracted, please.
So to make it just a suggestion to make it more interesting. You could roll the dice and private message people their role, and we could try to guess what they're doing.
You know what? Maybe we could do that next time because we're
Okay.
already through it this time.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
But I think this is going to be a little bit more expanded upon. This is definitely just to dip your toe in the water sort of thing, because we can add a few. We could definitely add some more short back and forths, and we're always open to any kind of suggestions for these as well. You can always message us on Facebook. You can tweet at us on Twitter, and you can also email us. So all those will be in the description below and whatnot.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're always open to get any kind of feedback and input from you guys wherever possible, because that can only help to serve. That can only serve to build and grow this this particular exercise, which I'm really having some fun with. But let's go ahead and now I think we've gotten through everybody, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Did John read a second time?
Which one?
Knowles.
Yes.
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 Okay. All right.
So since we got a little bit of time, is there anybody who would like to try a specific, set here? Like, is there something that's sticking out to you that you want to give a go?
Reminiscing. I never read that one.
You want to read Reminiscing? Okay. Does anybody else want to read Reminiscing with Devin?
Surprised?
You want to be surprised, or you want her to be surprised?
I want to be surprised.
You want to be surprised? So, okay. So then, do you want to read Reminiscing with Devin?
Yeah, but I'll be surprised. Are you saying both of us, Ray? What are you saying?
Well, A and B.
Well,
yeah, I need two readers.
Yeah, but I'm saying surprised.
Hey, you can't have both parts, Russ.
Be surprised through the whole thing. Okay, so Russ, you can be either A or B, and you can be surprised. Devin, which one did you want to read?
It doesn't matter. I guess A.
Okay,
oh, then
so
I'll choose B then.
Okay, so Devin is A, and Russ is B. Russ wants to be surprised. Devin, what do you want to be?
Did you want A, Russ?
No.
No, as his voice goes up 8 octaves. Take A and I'll be B.
I'm practicing being surprised.
Okay, B.
Okay, so Devin will read B, and Russ will read A. Russ will read A as a surprised person. Devin, what do you want your emotion to be?
Oh, I get to pick one. Okay, I'll be angry then.
You get to pick everything. Okay, she's angry. All right, and did you want to read in a particular setting? No? Okay, go for it.
Which script was it?
Reminiscing. 4.
Oh, okay.
Wedding.
All right. And I'm A.
Mm-hmm.
Until further notice.
Do you remember that time when we were younger and went to the creek?
Which time?
The one where I got my big toe pinched by a crawfish.
And you practically leaped out of the water?
I did. Out of the water. I was on the bank before I knew what happened.
What about it?
I've been afraid of things with pinchers ever since.
Uh-huh.
So, I'm wondering why you decided on Red Lobster, of all places to go eat.
All right. What did everybody think about Russ's surprise?
He was very surprised, and he stayed that way.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'd like to hear you do it again and build it a little bit. Maybe to play some different levels of surprised.
Okay.
And then one other thing possibly is just to make everything flow better. Just being a stage actor for as long as I have, you've learned these things to jump on the end of the person's last word with your line, so it flows
Oh,
like
okay.
a conversation. There are times for pauses, but if you do that on some of these, it'll just sound more flowing better.
Yeah, and some of the issue with that though is
true, but
yes, some of the issue with that is that Devin's internet is a little bit more latent than the rest of ours.
Yeah.
There's
So
like a Zoom delay too between lines. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of a delay there when she hears it. I'm pretty sure that she's jumping on it right when she hears it. So, yeah, there is going to be that latency issue that we can't quite fix.
Roger.
But yeah, I totally agree with that. So as soon as you can, go ahead and jump on those lines. But yeah, I absolutely agree with John here that Russ, you need to build up that surprise a little bit more. Surprise is really it's a one-time thing. It's a single packet use basically. So you put it on something in particular, and bam, there's your surprise. So I'm wondering why you decided on Red Lobster of all places to go eat.
Okay.
You know, or I mean that could be the come down to. So I'm wondering why you decided on Red Lobster of all places to go eat. You know, after the surprise was put somewhere else. Maybe at the very beginning you're surprised and you quickly turn to Devin to tell her about the story. You know, like, oh, Red Lobster. Hey, do you remember that time when we were younger and went to the creek? You know, so surprise is definitely one of those one-offs. It's to be used in a very particular place of your choosing. So that's the change I'd like to hear. So the surprise goes in like it's just a point. You put it somewhere and that's where the surprise is. Let's see.
It seemed hard to do surprised on A for that one because again, A is the one who knows everything and is laying out the whole thing.
Well, again, this is where constructing a little bit of a backstory in your head would really work because you could approach the very first sentence with surprise because suddenly maybe you two are friends and you decide to go out and just, hang out for a little bit and you pull up to Red Lobster and the first thing you see is a lobster with the two massive claws there and the surprise kicks in right there. Hey, do you remember that time when we were younger and went to the creek? Or maybe you're just reminiscing and then you hit it and you see that and so I'm wondering why you decided on Red Lobster of all places to go eat. The surprise can be placed I don't know, I would say in at least those two places.
Is that one or the other or both?
And one or the other.
Okay.
Yeah, surprise is not necessarily a generally static or continuous emotion, not like anger or frustration. Those will stick with you and those will change your full delivery. Surprise is a little bit more of a one-off and then it devolves into something else like shock or amusement or something. So like when you see people well, this is good. This is why we need to have these discussions. This is great. So do you get to choose what you sort of like where you want to put it, either at Red Lobster or like at the very beginning, and what you want to become afterwards? Do you want to get amused? Do you want to get frustrated? Do you want to get, I don't know, insert emotion here?
I feel like I'm doing multiple emotions.
You're going to be, yeah.
All right, then.
And then Rob says, for Devin to be more angry, she's waiting for the cable guy and his 12-hour window waiting time. So I don't know, if you wanted to be more angry there, Devin, you could have that on your mind.
All right.
Ready?
Anyway, go for it.
Oh, do you remember that time when we were younger and went to the creek?
Which time?
The one where I got my big toe pinched by a crawfish.
And you practically leaped out of the water?
I did leap out of the water. I was the one on the bank before I knew what happened.
What about it?
I've been afraid of things with pinchers ever since.
Uh-huh.
So, I'm wondering why you decided on Red Lobster of all places to go eat. Wow. Does Michael have to say it every time?
Yes.
All right.
All right. So what did everybody think of that?
Opening it up.
Open it up. Yep. There we go. The standard lines.
I'm triggered by Michael saying that to wake up. I like the variety. I like the variety better. I mean, it's really hard. It is hard to play surprised on every single line.
Yeah, it is.
It's just not an easy choice to make.
You got into that line very well. That was very authentically surprised.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, surprise is definitely more of a single peak that changes into something else, while something more like happy is that long-term positivity in your delivery.
Did
So
you feel the change to
I
sarcastic?
did, I
Okay.
did. You know, your transition was really good. Yeah, I felt the surprise right at the very beginning, and then it became the sarcastic.
Cool.
Yeah, you kind of feeding off Devin's energy, and Devin, your laugh at the made me.
Devin, what were you thinking through that performance? What was your character?
Russ is cheating on me. We're at someone's wedding. He's cheating with the maid of honor.
My.
Oh Lord.
Wow, things in the mic check getting spicy here.
With the server at Red Lobster.
Yeah. And it's
He's
apparently
dinner with the
your
server.
engagement dinner, your wedding, your pre-wedding dinner at Red Lobster.
It's about to get ugly in here.
Well, I definitely felt more of the long-term sort of malice coming from your delivery, Devin. That was spicy.
Yeah.
That was good.
She had that wild, this crap just got real.
All righty then. Well, anybody else want to give it one more go before we call it an end?
I'll do
on,
it.
Joe.
That was
Come on.
fun.
Joe, come on, Joe.
What?
Come on, Joe.
John,
Joe.
you want to do one? I'll do one.
Yeah, yeah.
John and Joe, John Knowles.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go with the 6-letter duo, Joe, Jon.
Joe,
All
you
right.
gotta throw in an accent or something.
Okay.
Throw in an accent.
I was throwing an accent or something.
Okay, so which script appeals to you guys? Which one sounds good to you?
What have you not done?
I haven't done gossip.
I didn't do it either. That's a good one.
Okay, gossip is a good one. So, Joe, A or B?
I'll be A.
Okay, so John, you'll be B. And what emotional state do you guys want to approach this from?
Joe, why don't you just start with an emotional state and see if I can get it and play off of it?
That's a
Okay.
good one.
Okay.
So, Joe, you are picking yours in secret. And then if you want to, you can go ahead and agree on a setting. If not, just go for it.
Okay. We're at a fish processing plant.
Got it. So you two are working next to each other. There's a lot of noise going on and a lot of stank. Whenever you're ready, go for it.
So, did you hear?
Hear what?
You know the thing that happened. The thing.
What thing?
Let's just say there was some misunderstandings, and Pat and Jeff are not happy with each other right now.
Really? Pat and Jeff? Those two are inseparable.
Don't worry. I'll give you all the juicy details, but somewhere where the fish can't hear us.
I always look forward to Joe's performances. Anyway, what did you... So, John, what emotion were you getting from him?
Kind of a little the woman gossiping over the fence. I mean,
Yeah.
we both know these people, and this is, hey, you know what's going on here?
Yeah. I was loudly secretive.
I was like, I actually got a little bit more of like hesitation or trepidation from you,
Yeah.
especially with the way that you began. So, did you hear? You know, like, I don't know if I should be talking about this right now, but hey, we're here, right?
Yeah, something juicy.
Yeah, that's kind of what I got from your performance. What did everybody else think? What did you guys think of that performance altogether?
I got
Yeah,
something like a 50s or 60s comedy vibe.
Yeah, like a radio show.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's kind of what I got.
That's a good one.
Or one of those classic 70s sitcoms. I mean, along the lines of Laverne and Shirley.
Set in Jersey.
Jersey.
What did everybody think of the emotion that Joe chose? What did you hear from his performance?
It fit the gossip thing pretty well. It really did.
Loudly secretive.
Yeah, it really did. I mean,
I love it.
I'm in the know about everything, but I don't know if I should tell you or not yet.
Well, John, I definitely got a lot of surprise from your performance too. I was really positive.
Thank you.
All righty then. Well, I think unless somebody else wants to go, I think we can go ahead and call it. It's going to be a shorter meeting today.
Cool.
I'm good.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, thank you all very much for joining. This is going to be a work in progress. This is not going to be the last time you see this format or this happening, because I think we can expand it and we can really give everybody who's going to read a great opportunity to sort of flex their acting muscles and really get into this script. I think this is going to be a ton of fun as we refine and develop this a little bit more. But that is all for today. If you like what you saw, go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below, or follow us on Facebook or Twitter, wherever you feel more comfortable doing it. And we will see you all next week. Join us every Monday for free script practice. You can also find the Mic Check on Facebook and Twitter. If you liked what you saw, then subscribe for more.